Hi, seventh grade. This video is going to cover argumentative writing. You guys just finished writing your argumentative essays for my class. Um, you should all have a grade by the end of Sunday. I'm almost done with UCLA. I finished UC Davis. Actually, I have a couple students from Davis. Over the weekend, I'll be working on UC SC. So please check your grade at the end of the weekend, because some of you will be using the interim as your retake. So please keep an eye out for that. Today I will be working on, or we're going to be looking at example essays. We're going to look at 2 essays, and we're going to figure out what grades you think they deserve or what you think they got. I'm also going to go over one example of a counter argument, a strong counter argument that I thought was really solid, because that seemed to be the area where a lot of students really struggled, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that in a second. First, we're going to go over this essay. There's 2 essays, by the way. This video should not be too long, I hope. So one thing that I noticed also was when you do your title, it needs to be capitalized. What I mean by that is you don't have to capitalize every single letter. So for example, this student said why dogs should sleep on the bed. So this should be capitalized. You see how those things should be capitalized? Okay, so that's just a little thing. The majority of us did indent our paragraphs, which is great because it helps us understand where one paragraph ends and the other one begins. I had a student write 7 paragraphs, which is really confusing. What they did was they had like an intro paragraph, and then they had their evidence paragraph, and then they had an explanation paragraph. And I was like, those should be together. So please make sure you have 5 paragraphs. On the interim, I won't be, we can still give you a rubric, but we can't give you a checklist. So one suggestion that I have is that you create a checklist on the on scratch paper so that you can make sure that you hit every point of the argumentative essay. For example, do you have a title? Do you have a hook? Did you include overview that is relevant? Did you answer the question with a clear thesis and 2 answers? Is your first in the second paragraph is your topic sentence, your thesis with your first reason? Most of us did pretty good on this essay. There's still a couple students that are struggling with word formatting. So let's look at this example, and then hopefully this helps you with the interim on Monday. Did you know 45% of dog parents let their dogs sleep in the bed with them? That's a great hook. I really like it. I'm gonna send this to my wife. I actually told my wife I'm gonna send you this essay that one of my students wrote because it's really awesome, and I want Alfie to sleep with us, but she won't let Alfie sleep with us because she said it'll smell like dog. And I said, but he's not a dog, he's a baby. But she doesn't believe me. But you'll see what this student says. Did you know 45% of dog parents let their dogs sleep in their bed with them? That's a great hook, right? It's to the point. One thing that I noticed was some of you guys had a hook that was like multiple sentences long. Like, try to avoid that. And then here they're gonna have their overview. Dogs were originally wolves, so they talk about what dogs are. Dogs were originally wolves. They will gather up in packs and hunt for food. That was until wolves were domesticated. That's a good word. Domesticated or tamed and became what people now call dogs. Dogs are a human's best friend. Every pet owner spoils and plays with their dog. I don't know if that's true though. Dogs keep people less lonely and always find a way to cheer people up. They also love to cuddle with their humans. So here they're providing like context for their topic, right? The connection people have with their dogs. And then here they're gonna have the thesis statement. The question that this person is answering: should dogs be allowed to sleep with humans? So always remember the question that you're answering, so when you have your thesis, you're like, yeah, I answered that question. Did you answer the question? Here they wrote, dogs should be allowed to sleep on the bed because it makes people happier and has many mental health benefits. So it makes people happier, and it has mental health benefits. Those are the 2 reasons. These 2 reasons are kind of they sound kind of similar. So be careful with that. And now they're gonna be talking about now they're gonna jump into their first topic sentence, which is gonna be hopefully it talks about people being happier, right? Now, one thing that I noticed was some students will say, dogs make people happier. But you forgot the first part of the thesis statement, which is, should dogs be allowed on the bed? Right? You can't just say dogs make people happier. You can't say that. That's the reason that you have, but you have to go back to the question. Should dogs be allowed on the bed? And the thesis should be something like, the first reason why dogs should be allowed to sleep on the bed is because it makes you happier. One suggestion that I will have here would be to talk about the bed of people, right? Because dogs are technically in a bed, but this person is referring to sleeping on the bed with people. The first reason why dogs should be allowed to sleep on the bed with people is because it makes people, or it makes the humans, happier. So little things like this. Just be careful with your word choice. And then they're gonna that's gonna be their topic sentence. So I'm gonna highlight their topic sentence. And now they're gonna talk about their evidence. According to the source called, I don't even know, I don't know if this is a typo, I2, or if, I don't know if it's a typo, I actually don't know. To sleep or not to sleep, the pros and cons of allowing your dogs to sleep in the bed. It states, studies have shown that when your pet snuggles, that when you pet or snuggle your dog, or even just gaze lovingly into their eyes, your brain releases a hormone called oxytocin. And then they go into the elaboration. Oxytocin is a natural hormone made in the brain. It is also known as a happy hormone. Dogs love to cuddle and will do anything to put your smile on your owner's face. They can do it without even trying. Just with a single cuddle, they will make anyone happy. I like this one. I would have liked this person to elaborate a little more on the sleeping aspect of it, right? Because they just talked about making you happy. But be careful with that, because just be careful with that. I would have liked more on the topic of sleeping, okay? And then they're gonna go into their second reason. The second reason why dogs should be allowed to sleep on their bed is because it has many mental health benefits. According to the source, 13 reasons to sleep with your dog, it states. For example, sleeping with your pup has many mental health benefits, such as increased feeling of safety and comfort. People suffering from PTSD found that sleeping with their pet even helped diminish nightmares. So that's their evidence. And then they have their elaboration. Dogs make people feel safe. People who suffer from past traumas or other mental disorders find it easier to cope with them when sleeping with their furry friend. I like this word choice. People feel reassured because they know that their dog is right next to them. And because they feel reassured, that will reduce the chances of having trauma flashbacks and night terrors. So here we have their first paragraph, which is their intro paragraph. That should have your thesis statement at the end. Second paragraph is going to have the first first topic sentence, evidence elaboration. The third paragraph is going to have their second topic sentence with the second reason, evidence elaboration, and then we're going to get to fourth paragraph. And this is where I saw a lot of issues. So I'm going to spend quite a bit of time talking about this paragraph and also the other paragraph that was pretty strong. Here remember, you have to acknowledge the other side. And there's sentence starters you can use. You can say some people may argue, others may argue. On the other side of the argument, people will say. So always remember to tag it that way. Otherwise, if you say dogs should not be allowed on the bed, it looks like you're arguing both sides, and you're not. You're arguing your side, but acknowledging the other side and then attacking it. Some people may argue that dogs should not be allowed to sleep on the bed because they shed lots of hair and leave fur on the bed. That's a great counter argument. Right? People do say that. That's the reason why my wife doesn't allow Alfie on the bed, because she says that he's gonna shed a lot, and then the bed is gonna smell like dog, even though he's a baby. But that's not the point. And then they acknowledge the other side. That's a fair point, and it is a fair point. And here, However, according to the source called, so one thing this person should have done better, or one thing that this person misses, they don't have a rebuttal here. They said they have a concession and then they have evidence. You need a rebuttal. You need something that attacks that. Why is that wrong? So this person is missing that. However, according to the source called To Sleep or Not to Sleep, the pros and cons of allowing your pet to sleep in your bed, it states, yes, there may be more dog hair in the sheets, but let's face it, you're already in close contact, daily contact with your dog, hugging them and brushing them and giving them kisses. So that's their evidence. That's pretty good evidence. Pet owners make close contact with the dogs every day. There will be hair on the furniture, clothing, floors, and everywhere. People have to wash their beds daily, sheets daily, so all the fur will be washed off eventually. Pet owners should be used to seeing and having fur everywhere. It is the number one thing that pet owners are going to have to do daily. Another thing I would have included in this essay is, are the pros and cons of having your dog right in bed. Yes, you have hair and it smells, but what do you get out of it, right? What is it that you're getting happiness out of it? So, I mean, that's the way I see it. I'm okay with Alfie sleeping on the bed because I'm like, you know what? I already sleep next to him most of the time. But again, I have a wife that does it, so that's the point. So there's a couple things this person could have worked on, but overall, it's a pretty strong essay. And I also like it because I agree with the essay. This person got M's on their essay. There's a couple things that could be better. For example, the rebuttal. Here when they said allowed to sleep on the bed, but again, those are small details. Overall, if I look at the rubric, they are mostly at 4s. There's a couple 3s, but not enough to make it an S plus. Okay, so really good job. Now let's look at this one. Abortion should still be legal. I like the title. That's a great title. I like how they capitalize this. So let's look at their. So here, when I look at their first paragraph, I should see a hook, overview, and thesis statements. Abortion is the act of killing an unborn baby medically and legally. Mostly people hear of abortions and act like it's a normal thing when it's very far from the idea for others who think the opposite. Now, I don't know what is the hook here and what is overview, because it looks like this is the hook, but then there should be a period there. And then it says mostly people hear of abortions and act like it's a normal thing when it's a very far from the idea for others who think the opposite. I'm confused by the whole sentence. I don't think most people think that it's a normal thing. I think most people think that it's a very serious thing. Abortion is a procedure to end a pregnancy. Okay, but I think you already said that here. Now, be careful, because here this person says, this person's taken a side. It says abortion should be legal. This person's saying abortion should be legal, right? But then they're using words like killing. So that seems like two different aspects. When I first read this essay, I thought this person was going to be against. First, I thought they were going to be for abortions, and then I thought they were going to be against because they use these words like killing. Like when you kill something, it's something serious, like a murder, right? So I was unsure about what this person was going to be arguing. So then they talk about abortion as a procedure to end a pregnancy. Abortion can be used in many different issues, like if the woman, abortions can be used in many different issues. I don't know what this means. Like a woman was raped, etc. And then they go into what abortion is, or they answer the question. This is going to be their thesis statement. Abortion should still be legal because it makes a woman's lives better, and women can have the right to get abortions for their pregnancy. I don't know. I don't understand the second part. The second reason, women have the right. I really don't understand. That's like, it doesn't make sense. To me, it doesn't make sense. To the writer, it does, because obviously they wrote it, right? But it just doesn't make sense to me. So let's look at the first topic sentence, reason and elaboration. Abortion should still be legal because it makes women's lives better, okay? I like how they have part of the thesis statement and they have the reasons. Confusing topic sentence. Oh, I wrote this right here. Disregard that. Disregard that. I think that I wrote that, and I think that I wrote it because I'm unsure about what this means. How does it make women's lives better? According to legalization of abortion, it states abortion is the only key to help victims from raping, and this must be legalized to set them free from a sense of mortification, accusation, and tribulation. Okay, so abortion should be. This person is arguing that people that go through this this trauma should be allowed to have an abortion. Okay, let's see how they argue that. This shows that abortion can set free the child from This shows that abortion can set free the child from being with an innocent woman who got raped. This shows that abortion can set the child free the child. You see, I'm just having a really hard time connecting the dots with this essay. So whenever I have to like go back and be like, what do they mean by that? That's gonna impact your grade. I'm really confused by this whole thing. This also shows that abortion was key for women who needed, that were rape victims, that got them pregnancies. Abortion, it can make their lives better because they won't carry the child of the rape because of those who did it. I understand what they're trying to say. I really do. They're saying is that if you suffer a trauma like rape, that you should be allowed to have an abortion because having this kid will remind you of this event. I get that. Like I totally get that, and I agree with that. Well, that's not the point that I agree or disagree. But the way that this is written is just confusing, right? You have to go back and read your essay and think. I know what I'm reading, but does the reader understand what I'm trying to say? And in this case, it's really hard to connect those dots. Okay. The next one, and so the essay is not a great essay, but it's also not an essay as an end. Let's see how they continue so far. Abortion should still be legal because women can have the right to get an abortion for their pregnancies. This is a really weak reason. This doesn't answer the question. Abortion should be legal because this is like saying abortion should be legal because it should be legal. This doesn't actually provide a good reason why it should be legal. According to Why Abortion Should Be Legal essay, it states that women's right to choose safely and regulation, the reduction of unwanted pregnancies, stigma, and shame. This evidence doesn't make sense. I just don't understand it. This shows that women can have the right to choose if they want an abortion for their own good, as they choose for. I still don't get it. Abortion shouldn't be illegal because it can help women make their lives better because they wouldn't have to worry or stress about having a kid if they are not ready. That makes sense. And then there's a period there. It's their choice to have an abortion for their lives. I don't understand what that means. Abortion is a huge thing for women because it takes over a living thing that is growing inside a woman's stomach, pregnancy. Yes, it is. I don't understand the point. So, based on those 3 paragraphs, this will be like an S- because it's just confusing. The structure of the essay is also probably an S-. Some people and here they're gonna have their kind of argument. So they do introduce the topic or the kind of argument. Some people argue that abortion should be made illegal because it can decrease birth control. What? Some people argue that abortion should be made illegal because it can... I don't understand. That's why I wrote confusing counterclaim. I really don't understand that. That's a fair point. So they have their concession, but abortion should still be legal because it can make... So you see here, the problem with this one is that I don't understand this. I don't understand the counter argument. And then what they did was, and there were several of you that did this, you have to have a counter argument, and then your rebuttal must attack that. What some of you guys did was, you have a counter argument, and then your rebuttal, you just restated your thesis statements. Or you supported your thesis statement. That's not what I want, right? You have a counter argument, and then you have to respond to that. Why is it weak? That's like someone here saying some people may argue that abortion should be legal because it's killing a human being. And then a same person might have the rebuttal saying, yeah, but it makes the women's lives better. Well, that doesn't respond to the counter argument. I'll repeat that. Some people might argue that abortion should be illegal because it kills a human being. That's a fair point, but abortion make women's lives better. What I just said doesn't work, because you need to actually attack the counter arguments instead of just repeating your own point of view. That's a fair point, but abortion should still be legal because it can make a woman's lives better because of their issue that they wouldn't have time to take care of them. Why abortion should be legal states this is because women have access. So again, they're not attacking the counter argument at all. In conclusion, and this is a really weak paragraph, that last one, because it's so short. In conclusion, abortion should still be legal because it makes women's lives better, and women can have the right to get abortions for their pregnancy. Abortion can help women who don't want a baby because of their issue. I don't know what that means. I wish abortion would avoid saying I. Just say abortion will keep. Just restate your thesis. Abortion should be legal for women. This person got S- for evidence, an M for grammar and punctuation, and an N for purpose and organization, because it was really hard to follow. Okay, so this is an example of a student's counter argument. So this person's essay was about how cigarettes should be illegal. Okay, cigarette smoking should be illegal. That was their thesis statement. So this is only paragraph 4. So let's look at what they did for paragraph 4. So they have their word that shows that the other side is arguing this. However, some may argue that smoking shouldn't be banned because many people producing cigarettes would be at risk of losing their jobs. That's a great counter argument. If you're arguing that smoking should be illegal because it causes cancer, because it pollutes the environment, whatever, someone might come up with this counter argument and say, what about this? This is a great counter argument. I loved it. That's why I picked this one. Great counter argument. Let's see how they respond to it. Here's the concession. This is a fair point. However, many of those jobs from cigarette production companies will be replaced by different jobs elsewhere in the economy. Oh, so if you lost your job, if you were a cigarette maker, like you package cigarettes, you were gonna lose your job. And he's like, that's fair. You will lose your job, but you'll probably get another job in a different industry. And let's see what replaced by different jobs elsewhere in the economy. Well, let's see what kind of jobs this person says. In the source, the economic impact of smoking and the reduction in smoking prevalence, review of evidence, it states, though there will be loss of jobs in the tobacco industry, following smoking cessation, like eliminating smoking, money not expended on tobacco will be then spent elsewhere, thereby increasing the demand for other goods and services, and hence generating employment for some other sectors. So all that money that people were spending on cigarettes, now they're spending it on something else, right? So there's going to be jobs on that something else. I hope that makes sense. So this person did a really, really good job stating, yes, people will lose their jobs if they are in the business of making tobacco products. That's fair. So people will no longer spend money on tobacco products. They're going to spend money on something else. Whatever that something else is, those people that lost their jobs can go work there. I hope that makes sense. This proves that the opposing argument is wrong. After cigarettes gets banned, companies will offer lots of non-harmful jobs to the people in need of one of them from the cigarette production industry. This will cause many people from the cigarette production industry to accept these jobs rather than face unemployment. These jobs will be for the better of society because they are now nowhere near as harmful as cigarettes production, leading to many environmental issues and smoking is getting cancer. I hope that makes sense. To summarize, you guys are really awesome. I will be putting your interim in Power School, I promise. This time I will, because it is important. I will also be sending some letters home for students that got a 1 or a 2 on the SBAC last year, because we want to make sure that those students that got a 1 move up to a 2 or 3, and students that got a 2 move up to a 3 or a 4. And those students that got a 3 and a 4, I don't want you to think that I've forgotten about you. Obviously not. I want the 3s to move to a 4, and I want the 4s to remain at a 4. Last year, I think I went over this with you guys. Last year, you guys were at, I think, 63%. So it's like 63% of you guys got proficient or advanced on the SBAC. This year, we want to make sure that we are at about 80%. Okay, and we're gonna make it happen because you're awesome. I'll see you guys later. This video is due before you come back on Monday. Monday, I'll be hosting students that did not finish it during lunch and recess. Bye.